So it's been 24 hours since that series got done. We feeling better? No, me either. Welcome to the final episode of The Rendezvous. This season, to be clear, we're still going out on a positive note because we're here next year. Oh man, what is there to say about that series versus PSG? Really, not much. We got gapped in every way, shape, or form. It was never once close, that entire series. And if I see that section of the Baron just below it, or like the grub pit, I'm going to get triggered from now on. Like, anytime that we ever play a game, ever, I'm gonna worry about that particular section of the map, and you will not be able to stop me from feeling that way. Team communication broke down. I'm assuming something has happened over the course of Worlds, because it's not normal to make the same mistakes repeatedly in such an egregious manner. It's one thing if you mess up your individual combos, or maybe the team's not on the same page, and you get constantly put in unique situations that test you and you just can't get it together. No, to make the same play every single time of walking up to grub, to dragon, to wherever it might be, and the team is not all there, and you're just waiting. It's like, oh, they won't engage on me, I'm just waiting for my team to get here. It's like, no, they engaged on you. This isn't the LCS. You can't just chill there and wait. They're gonna kill you. And they did. Multiple times over. For River, there's now some concerns. Okay, obviously, phenomenal individual player. I'm not questioning his skill in any way, shape, or form. But taking a step back, really dud series from him here. And we constantly hear from the team that he is the main shot caller. We need to be able to follow River whenever he's trying to go in. Well, River, bro, they can't follow you when your team's in base. And this is now 2 straight years where we have seen River struggle in these big moments. He couldn't convert in the series against BDS last year at the international play-in stage as part of Golden Guardians. If you remember that, we got 0-3'd and River did not look good at all. This year, he has honestly a pretty damn good series against R7. Unfortunately, again, team's just not on the same page. That series, Sniper didn't have the best one, but in this series, if anybody performed the best, probably Sniper. But even then, it kind of felt like he popped off once we desperately needed something, and Sniper's just the one person on the team that is willing to YOLO send it no matter what. He did that, and it nearly gave us an avenue back into the game. But man, River, I don't know. He just consistently seems to have these series on the international stage and domestically in bigger finals or bigger times where when pressure and clutch time comes on, he just is on a different page to everybody else. But part of that, I'd imagine, might be due to the fact that it's him and Ayla shot calling. And look, I try to be very careful of what I say, because I understand that I somewhat have a voice within the community, and what I say can go to certain places. But there is no denying that Ayla was probably one of the worst players at all of Worlds this year. I mean, it's not a massive surprise for most people, but as a 100 Thieves fan that has been trying to be out here and say hey, he's doing his job. He might be providing intangibles that we don't see on the team, etc. This Worlds was just atrocious, terribly bad. When you're looking at how we can possibly improve and level up going into next year, he's the person that you're looking at first and foremost before anything else. We'll get into more of roster changes, 2025 outlook in a bit. I just want to finish up on Worlds here. Yes, this was a tragically bad performance at Worlds. I think the worst ever. We're the only team ever in North American history to not make it out of the play-in stage, to my knowledge. Clutch Gaming 2019, I would argue the other weakest team that we've probably sent, at least made it out before going 0-6. All we had to do was beat R7. That's literally all we had to do, and we would have been fine, because we would have faced Pain instead of PSG. PSG was beating whoever they played today. It doesn't matter whether it was us or somebody else. There was nobody in play-in stage that was going to come close to the level that PSG was able to put on by the end of it, even if they did look shaky in the beginning. All we had to do was beat R7. That's all we had. This dead ass. This feels like 2022, where we lost to Flying Oysters. And everybody's just looking at us like, oh, really? We can't even beat the minor region team? Like, then I would argue it was like, no, the R7 loss is probably the most egregious North American loss of all time. Yeah, that probably is. I can't sugarcoat that. I can't lie about it. And now, like, for 100 Thieves, we have to worry about perception now, which by all means can be fixed if we end up doing something at any point during Worlds. But, like, until the end of time now, people will be worried about sending us to Worlds because of what happened here. Unless we truly like look different and we're able to elevate to like TL and FlyQuest level, like we're always going to be a black stain for a lot of people whenever we go to Worlds, and that is going to be a narrative that we're going to have to fight very heavily against. And by all means, I'm happy to be the mouthpiece and do what I can to help, push against it, but it ain't going to be easy. Like, and you need to know that now as a 100 Thieves fan, like we will be hearing about this forever. We will have to deal with this forever. Even with the merger consolidation, like now we're only sending 2 teams from North America in, where it gets even harder. When we're one of 2, people are gonna not like that at all. I don't blame them. We let them down. We let down North American fans with this performance. We could have lost every single game at Swiss stage, and that would have been fine. It wouldn't have been a letdown. That's exactly what people expected. But the fact that we did not make it out of Swiss, or the fact that we didn't make it out of play-ins, yeah, I can't defend that. I can't sit here and blow smoke up your ass. It's terrible. It's the worst thing that's ever happened for North America in terms of our international performance at Worlds. Looking on, and I hate to start a conversation now, but we kind of have to because the offseason begins very quickly. And I think now is when I start to get a little bit worried. I've talked so much crap to C9, but the truth is they could offer $200,000 to Quid instead of the $750,000 that went to Jojo Pune and get Quid, probably. We might be in the LCS or whatever it's called next year, according to Travis Gafford, based on the reporting that's out there, even if Riot is not going to reveal the official teams until after this Worlds is done. But I highly doubt, based on the words that everybody else has been talking about and all the podcasts and interviews and what we talked about with Jungle Juice at the beginning of the year, I highly doubt that our budget is getting better this upcoming year. We don't know what the percentage makeup is of sponsorship deals and what cut of them goes to the League of Legends program to be able to help drive additional money in addition to the stipend that Riot will give us just for being a part of the tier 1 ecosystem. But our stipend is decreasing pretty significantly this year, and we don't have the biggest fandom nor the highest viewership. I think we were one of the lower viewed teams in terms of the World's play-in stage relative to every other team that was with us. Granted, we're still over 1 million, but like we're going to be fighting for our share of that revenue pool, which means we've got 2 players right now that are going to be looked at by everybody. Regardless of whether they are currently on contract or not, Sniper and Quid are going to be hot assets that people will inquire about no matter what at the end of this offseason. And what I don't want to have happen is what happened last offseason, where Busio, has this rough split with Doublelift, but now look, he's an LCS champion in his first year out of it. I'm legitimately worried that Sniper could go. If Thanatos is looking to leave, I could see C9 just trying to outright take Sniper, and I could definitely see them trying to get Quid. As much as I enjoy River as an individual player, like all that matters right now is investing heavily and getting the right resources around Sniper and Quid, which at this moment is veteran leadership that they need in-game because our macro is god-awful. If we keep Tomo, which gut feeling says Tomo will probably try and sign on for another year. I think he's done a serviceable enough job that he's earned his spot to stay in. I don't know much about the AM scene beyond that, but what we don't need right now is amateurs. Luckily, what we've done by proxy of Sniper and Quid playing well is that they've become desirable enough assets that we might be able to convince people to come play for 100 Thieves. But the question is, what kind of budget are we working with? If we're going true budget, if we are truly trying to stay profitable next year, we're not going to have much money to work with. So you need people that will come in and be able to take the popularity boost or something else that comes with it. But unfortunately, the social media impact of joining 100 Thieves and joining an LCS team is not what it once was. So realistically, the people with the higher paying salaries are probably going to get it. I'm legitimately scared of this offseason because I don't know who we're going to be able to keep versus who we're not. And if we get broken up again because we simply don't have the money to pay for players that are going to be able to get bigger offers, and teams might offer buyouts as the Americas consolidates next year. I don't know. I'm scared. So I know there's nothing I can personally offer to any of these players to try and help make them stay, other than just saying, like, you've obviously got a fan in me. You've got support from my side in terms of the fandom. Whatever I can do to help you guys stay, I will do. But I know I'm not in the org. I don't have any influence in that aspect, which, by the way, there were a few people that might be new around here and new to this channel. I'm not part of 100 Thieves in any way, shape, or form. I wish, but I'm not. People thought just because, like, I talk about the brand all the time and, like, I say we, that I was. I'm not. But yeah, that's where we end things. Honestly, a very crappy note in terms of the international performance, and a terrified note going into next year of what this might look like in terms of what you can expect from me and the Rendezvous for 100 Thieves fans. Whenever we get any significant updates, or if I have a story to share for the Rendezvous, I will. I might try and do a sit-down conversation either with Jungle Juice or with somebody else from the organization during the off season to just kind of get a glimpse of what's going on next year. I know they won't want to talk about it until everything's officially revealed, but just, I don't know. I would love to get some answers about this past few months, really, of like the limbo state that we were in. We're still waiting to hear about like that guest slot versus permanent slot thing. We'll find out. I'm rambling because I don't want this to end, but the truth is it needs to, as does the 2024 season. Overall, still a massive positive. We made it to Worlds. We went 4th and 3rd, and you got some stepping stones with Sniper and Quid that like you can build off of and possibly attract some talent. So we'll see where we go from here. But hopefully 100 Thieves, the next time we talk, is still the same 100 Thieves that we know now, at least in terms of core identity. But I'll see you around. That's it.